Have you ever noticed that the people we call enigmas always seem unbothered? In a world that screams for validation, they exist in a quiet pocket of self-possession. They move through crowded rooms and heated conversations with a stillness that's both captivating and slightly unnerving. They don't chase the spotlight, instead the spotlight seems to find them, drawn to their quiet confidence. They rarely feel the need to justify their actions or explain their choices, leaving others to fill in the blanks with their own assumptions and curiosities. This isn't arrogance, but a deep-seated self-assurance. It's this very lack of neediness, this profound sense of inner validation that creates an irresistible pull. Their aloof calm isn't a performance, it's a natural state of being that makes them utterly magnetic. But is this nonchalance a deliberate strategy or a natural byproduct of their psychology? Today we're breaking down the science and art behind this phenomenon, exploring why enigmas are almost always seen as nonchalant, and how this perception grants them a unique form of power, whether they mean to wield it or not. First, let's define it. An enigma isn't just someone mysterious, it's someone who's hard to read. You don't quite know what they're thinking, what they want, or what drives them. They might be private, reserved, or simply unpredictable. That unknown factor is what sets them apart. When someone doesn't reveal much, they look like they're not trying hard to impress. And that effortlessness gets mistaken for nonchalance. Think about it. When everyone's oversharing on social media, the one person who doesn't feels untouchable. Their silence becomes power. Enigmas rarely show big emotional reactions. Maybe they're just private, maybe they've trained themselves to stay composed. But to outsiders, that looks like they don't care or that nothing rattles them. That composure creates the aura of being nonchalant, even when they do care deeply. Most people signal confidence by talking loudly, showing off, or demanding attention. Enigmas flip that script. They let their presence do the work. By not over-explaining or proving themselves, they seem more self-assured. It's the quiet confidence that whispers, "I don't need your approval." Here's the secret. When you say less, people fill in the blanks for you. Human psychology abhors a vacuum. Faced with incomplete information, our minds instinctively rush to create a story. By strategically withholding details, you aren't being empty, you're creating a canvas. You invite others to pour their own thoughts, theories, and desires into the space you've left open, making them the co-authors of your mystique. Enigmas don't give away the full story, which means everyone else projects their own assumptions onto them. To an admirer, your silence is wisdom. To a rival, it's a threat. You become a mirror, reflecting whatever people want or fear to see. This is a source of passive power, allowing you to understand others far more than they can understand you. That control, whether intentional or not, creates an image of someone who's above drama, detached and cool. This isn't about being cold, it's a sign of deep self-possession. You become the calm center while the world speculates around you. Here's the twist. Many enigmatic people aren't trying to be nonchalant. Sometimes they're anxious, sometimes they're simply introverted. But because we as humans interpret mystery as confidence, they get labeled as nonchalant. It's less about who they really are and more about how we read the unknown. So enigmas aren't necessarily cold or detached. They're just hard to figure out. They don't lay their cards on the table, not because they're hiding a bad hand, but because they're playing a different game. Their inner world is a vast, intricate landscape, and they are selective about who they give a map to. This isn't aloofness, it's about valuing the sanctity of their own thoughts, choosing deep connection with a few over superficial acknowledgement from many. And in a world that demands constant performance, their silence feels like rebellion. We're conditioned to broadcast our lives, turning every moment into content. The enigma's refusal to participate is a powerful counter-narrative. It's a quiet declaration that their identity isn't for public consumption and their self-worth isn't measured in likes. Their stillness cuts through the noise, reminding us of the power in what is left unsaid. This is why enigmas often seem so nonchalant, whether it's intentional or not. For some, this effortless aura is a deliberate defense, a way to keep the world at a comfortable distance. But for many, it's simply a byproduct of their introspective nature. They are so absorbed in their own internal dialogue that the frantic energy of the outside world doesn't faze them. They aren't trying to be mysterious. Their depth simply makes them so. But this mystique is a double-edged sword. It creates an irresistible pull, yet it can also be a fortress leading to isolation. So what about you? Do you think being an enigma is a blessing or a curse, a source of strength or a path to loneliness? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe and stay tuned for more deep dives into human behavior. Sometimes the loudest voice is silence.